Padres.
We've got another big update on Roki Sasaki. The finalists have been revealed. We've got some details about the Dodgers' second meeting. We're talking all things Roki Sasaki. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys ready to parade? We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Monkey magic. Freedman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, presented by dodgersnation.com, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor, join over 113,000 Dodgers fans that have subscribed to this channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you really want to support the channel, and also drop your comments down below. Of course, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the poll question of the show, and I asked you guys over on the X, how confident are you that Roki Sasaki will sign with the Dodgers? Right now, 19% say it's a lock, 28% say extremely confident, 46% say 50-50 chance, and 7% say he's signing elsewhere. So that's a pretty mixed poll. I think there's a lot of Dodgers fans out there that are right in that 50-50 mode. It's a coin flip between the Dodgers and the Padres, the Blue Jays. They're in the mix. Jeff Passan has said they're in the mix, but I think we all know what it's going to come down to. It's going to be two franchises, and they're both located in Southern California. But we are Yimi Garcia, Justin Brill, Kyle Hurt, 63 days until the Dodgers open their season against the Cubs in Tokyo on March 18th. Just 37 days until the Dodgers' first spring training game against the Cubs on February 20th. I can smell the baseball season coming. Baseball is coming, and it's going to be here before you know it. Of course, Antonio, super producer, super Dodgers fan. Antonio, Tony Taters, has another nickname, Tony Tallboys. I mean, Tony Taters rock with us, and he's looking for all your best takes, all of your comments of the show. He'll be featuring on the screen. He'll be looking out for your questions for the 7th inning stretch, where we answer all of your hard-hitting questions about your boys in blue later in the chat. And then, of course, Noel Sanchez, Noise by Noel, the Dodgers Nation social media superstar, is rocking with us. But a lot of anticipation because this is the Roki Sasaki week. This is the week where we'll know more and more information. He continues to eliminate teams, and that's where we're starting the show. Some more Roki Sasaki.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is still about Roki Sasaki. I know that some of you might be thinking Dodgers Nation is starting to become Roki Nation, and you're talking a lot about this Japanese phenom pitcher. Well, it's for good reason, because you are going to be getting a pitcher that could easily wait another couple years and sign for $200 to $300 million. Easily, if he stays healthy. Maybe even more than that. And you'd be getting him for $10 million. Like I said yesterday, you're getting a Lamborghini for the price of a Nissan Altima. You're getting a Rolex for the price of a Fossil watch. This is the ultimate value. This is a cheat code, a hack. It's extremely rare to see a player of this caliber be able to sign with any team, because money is not the factor here. It's fit. It's where he sees himself long term. And the big update today, couple of them. The first one is that Jeff Passan, he tweeted out the finalists. And he tweeted the finalists for Japanese star right-hander Roki Sasaki are the Los Angeles Dodgers, San Diego Padres, and Toronto Blue Jays. Sources tell ESPN. Sasaki will decide on his team by the closing of his posting window on January 23rd. So what we heard from his agent, Joel Wolf, is that he was going to be taking his time throughout this process. And you got the Blue Jays in there. And to me, look, is he on a plane to Toronto? I feel bad almost for the Blue Jays. They're always linked to all these great players, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Roki Sasaki. But seeing them on these lists of these star players almost reminds me of that meme where you have all the army dudes and the one dude's kind of like the clown one, and they're not really legit on that list. And I feel bad for the Toronto Blue Jays because they are a great organization that's willing to spend. I could be wrong. I could be shocked and he'll sign with Toronto, but it just doesn't seem like the Blue Jays are where the Dodgers are at or the San Diego Padres. The Toronto Blue Jays have been the bridesmaids for so many free agents and so many different players. You're probably going to add Roki Sasaki to that list. Now, the next big update we have is that they've had the second meetings, Roki Sasaki and his camp with the Padres and the Toronto Blue Jays, but the Dodgers have not had that second meeting because it hasn't taken place yet. But it was reported just a few minutes ago by The Athletic that a second meeting is set, and it says here in Fabian Ardias' piece that the Dodgers pitch, sources said, is expected to feature several of their stars. I wonder which stars those are going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, probably Will Smith, probably Freddie Freeman, probably Mookie Betts. They are going to assemble the Avengers to try to get their next superhero on this team. And you can guarantee that. It also say the international signing period opens Wednesday, though Sasaki is expected to make a decision closer to the end of his posting window that closes on January 23rd. So that's what we know now. That is what we know now. And when you look at these teams and the differences between these teams and how they stack up, well, financially, money-wise, the Dodgers are below where the Padres are at. Of the three finalists, the Padres and the Blue Jays, they're tied with $6.261 million in international pool money to spend. The Dodgers, they're currently at $5.146 million, and those would be the maximum that they could give Roki. But when the new signing period does begin tomorrow, January 15th, clubs can add up to 60% of their current total of international pool money, but you're going to have to do some wheeling and dealing, move off some assets to be able to maximize that. But we know that any team that's going to get him is going to be giving him every single penny that they're able to give him. And when it comes to Roki Sasaki and the pitch to Roki Sasaki, that to me is the most fascinating part of all this, because what we don't know is if he wants to join a super team like the Dodgers that's coming off a World Series win, that already has a Japanese superstar in Shohei Ohtani, a Japanese superstar pitcher in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Does he want to join that, or does he want to forge his own path? Well, Dodgers fans were freaking out yesterday, and that is because a video surfaced of Roki Sasaki, and Roki Sasaki was pitching down here in San Diego. Looks like a unkept middle school field or something, but they did have a rodeo, I believe, recently, and of course it's in the middle of the season. Hey, Dodgers doing a full construction. Dodgers' entire field looks completely different, but that is Roki Sasaki, and he's wearing Padres gear. No, he's did not get a job with UPS. That is Padres gear. And he's throwing. And a lot of Dodgers fans were freaking out about this. A lot of Dodgers fans were saying, oh, this is a bad sign. This is a hint that he's going to be signing with the San Diego Padres. And look, he very well could end up in San Diego, but this video I don't think means very much, because there was a visit and a second meeting up in Toronto, and he threw up at Rogers Center in Toronto. And when you go and you meet with teams and you want to throw, they're going to be like, oh, you want some shorts? Yeah, they're going to be the team that you're visiting, whether it be the Toronto Blue Jays or the San Diego Padres. So I'm not making too much out of this. I really am not making too much out of this. It reminded me of that picture that we saw that's been circulating for so many years of Kobe Bryant wearing the Celtics, right? Kobe wearing the Celtics shirt, and there's a picture of Kobe wearing the Celtics shorts. Jason Tatum tried to recreate that picture. It happens. When college recruits, we talked about this. I used to cover college recruiting for years for 24/7 Sports. I remember talking to some of these athletes, and yeah, they would take all their trips. Yeah, they would get the swag. Yeah, they would be walking around rocking the gear of whatever team was recruiting, USC, Alabama, UCLA, whatever it is. They'd be wearing that gear all over the place, but it didn't mean that they were going to sign with that team. So I don't take anything from this. I really, really don't. As far as the Padres being a viable destination for him, I certainly think that the Padres make a ton of sense for him. I don't think they make more sense than the Dodgers. I think when you look at their location, Southern California, the Yu Darvish connection, you might want to have more of a spotlight, and you don't want to be in the same rotation as Shohei and Yoshinobu for whatever reason. Sure, that's a decision that he's going to have to make. But look, I just don't think that this is a tell at all whatsoever. I think this is just standard procedure for anyone that's meeting with a team that's going to throw. And they wanted to do a workout. He worked out. They gave him the gear. He threw. It's all fine and dandy. I mean, think about this. You're not going to see this video with the Dodgers because the Dodgers stadium is under construction, right? So you're not going to be seeing that. If he's going to be throwing, it's going to be somewhere else. So this to me was a nothing burger, quite frankly. But Noel, I know a lot of people were freaking out about this.
No, real quick. I mean, I agree with you 100% DMac. I think no matter what level you're at, if you're getting recruited to a top high school, top college, or even a professional team in this case, the teams always go out of their way to make sure you feel comfortable. I follow basketball a lot. I know a lot of players that are being recruited, they go take some jumpers, meet the team, they get some hoodies, some shirts. And there was also that picture, I think from a year or two ago, of Roki rocking a Padres shirt that I believe Yu Darvish sent him. So he's already been in Padres gear. I don't think it necessarily means that he's already made a decision or that he's going to be doing his thing. I do think he likes his privacy because what I noticed with that video of him throwing, it got deleted by the original uploader like this morning. So I think the word got out and started getting rid of it. But I mean, a lot of people on social media were saying the same thing, even though I don't think Dodgers fans like seeing him necessarily in Padre Brown already throwing. I think that just kind of gave like bad juju. But I think that a lot of people were saying, just let the process play out. This is standard procedure. I remember last year when Yoshinobu Yamamoto was making his rounds, we saw at a couple stadiums, there was the welcome to, so-and-so stadium, Yoshinobu. So, I mean, it's just a smart move. I think all teams want to make him feel at home, and Dodgers are going to get their second meeting with him today. So I think they have a plan, and they're not worried about this video either.
Yeah, and if anything, look, they respect the fact that he has another team that he's strongly considering signing with. Now, kind of break down these teams a little more in depth. Let's start with the Toronto Blue Jays. Like I said at the top of the show, they did have a meeting with Sasaki at their home stadium. I just don't know if that's going to be the best fit for Roki for a couple different reasons. I mean, how competitive of a team are they going to be? I mean, the number one thing that some of these big questions that I have if I'm Roki and if I'm in those rooms is I'm asking Toronto, wait a second, you can't even sign your own players long-term. You can't even get a deal done with Vladdy. And what's the direction of this franchise? You're in a tough division, the American League East. Yeah, I think it's sadly going to be for the Blue Jays another situation where they're the Toronto bridesmaids, right? Where they just aren't able to get it across the finish line. And they're clearly doing a lot of things right just to be in that mix. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. I think the Padres are the team. And that's what we've heard. That's what I've heard for over a year now, essentially. There's going to be the Dodgers and the Padres at the very end. He could shock the world and choose the Blue Jays, but I just do not see it. So let's boil this down to two teams, the Padres and the Dodgers. We'll start with the Padres. What is the pitch if you're San Diego? We already threw out some things that make San Diego an attractive destination. But for me, him going to the Padres when the Dodgers are right there. They're right there. They're ready to put you into their organization and have you win another championship. Have you win a championship like you did in the WBC with Shohei and Yamamoto. The Padres, they can't look you in the eye and tell you they're going to win championships. The Dodgers, what was their message to Shohei Ohtani last offseason? It was, we made the postseason every year for more than a decade. We won the World Series in 2020. But guess what? It was a failure. It was a failure. If the Padres had achieved that same level of success, no way they are going to be telling potential free agents that that level of success would be deemed a failure. Because you can't talk about winning a World Series unless you've won a World Series. And if winning is important, if being surrounded by talent is important and it's a top priority, there's no conversation to be had here. I think the meeting is more about the Blue Jays and the Padres. Hey, the Padres and Blue Jays, you need to have a 10, 12, 15-hour meeting with Roki Sasaki. You need to have all of your players there. You need to have a mapped out 50-page PDF on how you're going to turn the Padres into a contender with him. The Dodgers don't need to do that. The Dodgers meeting with Roki Sasaki could be 10 minutes. They could roll up in there with all the big guns, with Shohei, with Yamamoto, with Mookie, with Will Smith, with Dave Roberts, with Andrew Friedman, plant that World Series trophy right in the middle of the table and say, do you want to roll with the winners? Because that's what we're going to be doing for the next 5 to 10 years here in Los Angeles. It's that simple to me. It reminds me of what Kobe Bryant said a couple years back when he said that if you have to convince a player to sign with the Lakers, that means that the Lakers aren't the team for them. You shouldn't have to convince a player when the proof is in the results. The sales job is in the reality for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think that it's because of those reasons why if he wants to build something that's going to be remembered for 50 to 100 years till the end of time in baseball, the Dodgers are the team. But Ken Rosenthal, he was on Foul Territory, MLB Insider, and he was asked about where Roki would sign, his ultimate prediction, and here's what he had to say.
I still would have to go with the chalk, the Dodgers. But I would not be surprised by the Padres. I would be surprised by the Blue Jays, but the Padres really would not surprise me. I don't know that a kid like this, you say, well, the owner's widow, the late owner's widow is suing the two brothers. I don't know that it's going to matter to Roki Sasaki. Maybe it should. And maybe if he's looking at the bigger picture, that's what he's looking at. But he also could say, listen, this is going to resolve. I'm going to be in San Diego. I'm going to be with you, Darvish. I'm going to be with a team that has been on the rise. So San Diego would not surprise me. Toronto would for the reasons that I said before.
So that's still what people are saying, right? Is that from the top to the bottom, it still is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if I'm the Dodgers and I'm trying to pitch Shohei Ohtani and all these guys to be a part of this recruiting meeting, I'm going in there and I'm saying, you don't have to sell us pretty hard. Tell them exactly what goes on here. And that is a daily commitment to getting better, to optimizing your talent, to winning World Series titles. I would say, hey, Roki Sasaki, do you want to go down as the best pitcher in Padres history? Do you want to be mentioned with names like Randy Jones and Gaylord Perry and Mark Davis, Jake Peavy, even Blake Snell, won a Cy Young for them? Do you want to be mentioned with those guys? Or do you want to be mentioned with Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser, Clayton Kershaw, those types of legends? Because that's what we're talking about here. It is just different. It is just different between these two franchises. If you play for the San Diego Padres, you represent your country for a city. If you play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you represent your country for a team that represents the entire world. They're a global, international franchise. That could mean a couple things for you. Could mean more endorsement money. Could also mean your legacy, being a part of history. Because look, last time I checked, these guys do this because they want to win at the highest level and hoist the World Series trophy. Unless he thinks he's Superman and is going to take that Padres team to the limit, that's not always going to do. But I would say this, I'll say, hey, the Padres fans are out there telling me, look what they did to Michael King and getting him to where he's at, and Lugo and all these guys down there. I would say, great. The offense went cold for 27 innings. How's that going to help me? If I'm going to go out there and put up zeros, if I can't trust that you're going to put a lineup around me that's going to be able to score enough runs. So we'll see. I mean, to me, Roki Sasaki going to the Padres would feel very Kawhi Leonard going to the Clippers, where, hey, the marquee franchise is right there. It's right there for you to just grab it. They're going to put yourself in the best position to have success. And, hey, legends will never be forgotten. I think that if you want to be a legend in Los Angeles and win multiple titles, you got to take the blue pill. But we got some super chats. Ray Soto, 499 super chat. LA strong. I love that. Give you let's go Dodgers. Yep, guys, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone that has been impacted by the fires that have absolutely ravaged through Southern California. So absolutely our thoughts and prayers. We got a Diced Melon, 499 super chat. What up, DMac? Excited to come back to Cali for the Freeway Series in May. Yeah, it's always good to come to that series, man. I like it. It's a little bit of a college feel there. Francisco Diaz, a 999 super chat. Told people around me the video of Roki at Petco was nothing different than a college recruit wearing a school's uniform during a visit. The video has since been taken down. Roki meeting with the Dodgers. Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Give you a nice little charge right there. 100%. Hey, who's going to say no to a free t-shirt, right? I mean, been there, done that, got the shirt, right? That's what it comes down to. Francisco Diaz, 999 super chat. Also, that video of Roki was taken this past at weekend. There were Dodgers. We are named a finalist yesterday and get their second meeting. So obviously that pitching session didn't sway him away from LA. Hashtag let's go Dodgers. Yeah, and I will add to that, let me be the guy that gets the last meeting. That is something that always is a factor as well. You get those last meeting pitches in, they tend to resonate a little stronger. Dodger Rich G, 499. Japanese culture is all about teamwork, not individuality. Playing with other Japanese stars to share the spotlight shouldn't stop him in any way. Give you a nice little home run right there. Yeah, and here's was Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts was asked about Roki Sasaki and why this Dodgers organization is so appealing to Japanese players. And Dave said that being with the Dodgers is something that is unique in the sense that he said, I think that the infrastructure of Japanese speakers on the staff, minor league staff, training staff, front office, baseball operations side of things, we really have that covered. I think our relationship with the country itself, we've built a lot of relationships with Japanese players in the last 30 years. Obviously, you talk about Los Angeles, there's little Tokyo, there's a very good Asian-specific Japanese community. I think the weather is very conducive to sort of not necessarily Hokkaido or northern Japan, but Tokyo and down south, the West Coast being closer to Japan, the fan base. I think the players that come over want to win. I think we're built to win now and for a long time. So that's a home run pitch for Dave Roberts. And Dave Roberts is speaking as someone that was born in Japan and someone that fully understands the communication level to get through to guys like Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani. This is the organization that had Hideo Nomo make his debut and make the All-Star team and pitch a no-hitter for this franchise as well. I looked it up too. There's 15 direct flights from LAX to Japan. There's one out of San Diego. So I'm trying to do my part in all this. And like I said yesterday, kind of what I was told by a source was that the Dodgers have the best opportunity to not only put talent around him, which is evidenced by the fact that they have a stacked roster, but also when the time comes to pay Roki Sasaki, when the time comes to sign to extension in free agency, they're not going to have a problem giving him the type of deal that he'd be getting when he was 25. His Yamamoto type of contract, right? The Dodgers will have no problem paying him that price because of how this organization is built, because of how they use deferred money, because of how much money they're making. There's no guarantee the Padres will be able to pay him and put talent around him consistently. So, yeah, honestly, Roki Sasaki, I don't know what I'm going to do when I hear the news. Maybe a Sasaki bomb, maybe 2 shoeies, but it's going to be very exciting one way or the other. We got a $20 super chat, not to tell you what to do, but I think we as a family on here, we all need to help out people in need. You guys can pick a place where the money goes. Thanks. $20 super chat for Randy. Absolutely. All the super chat money will put to a good cause, and we're still trying to work out some more stuff. But absolutely, 100%. Now, let's do some designated Twitter, though. Some designated Twitter. The baseball Twitterverse is buzzing. Oh, I still call it Twitter, man. I haven't gone over to X. I still call it Crypto Staples. To me, I don't know. Noel, you're Mr. Social Media. Do you call it the X? Have you caught on to the X?
I've been coming around to it a little bit more. I feel like in recent times, especially at the beginning, like on my desktop, I would like type in Twitter all the time. Now I just go straight to X, and I feel like in general, like even I've made some videos and like I'm referencing people in them. I just say like, oh, so-and-so posted this or shared this on the X. I think it's starting to become a little bit more of an afterthought for Twitter. We'll always remember the good Twitter days, though. I'll never forget.
Never change it. It's always going to be Twitter to me. Sometimes I'll slip to it and I'll say I saw it on X, so I'm not going to lie. But to be honest, I think it's just because of this segment, and I think it's so perfect. Designated Twitter. I can't call it designated X. It wouldn't work for that. But let's get into your tweets. Got a designated Twitter on Roki Sasaki being the finalist mode. He's got his top 3. You got the Padres, you got the Dodgers, you got the Blue Jays.
Designated Twitter, the best of Dodgers social media.
So the first tweet, I love this tweet. This to me is comment the show status. This is from Holly Baylor. It's a parody account, but it's the Padres and Dodgers are reportedly exploring an arrangement that would let the team share Roki Sasaki every other week with new split custody rules. I love that one. I love that one because, I mean, that's something else too. If I'm Roki Sasaki, do you really want to face this Dodgers lineup for the next 6 years? That's a big selling point for me. You're in the division. We're going to face this team 13 times, get a couple starts a year. You're going to see them in the postseason. Do you want to be the guy that is tasked with getting out Shohei Ohtani? Do you want that matchup? I personally don't. I personally do not. We've got some more over here. This is your pitch to Roki Sasaki. We got Chelsea says ownership committed to winning, not afraid to spend money, built to win now and in the future. Some of the best pitching coaches, a star-studded lineup, and Ohtani and Yamamoto. There you go. There's a sales job. Here's a sales job. LA greater than sign SD. This is from Girl Dad 6, tweets out, if you want to be the best, play with the best. Play for the best and win multiple championships. There is only one destination. Look at how many players have jump-started their careers here. Welcome to LA, my friend. P.S. Shohei and Yoshi play here. Yeah, don't discount Show GM. He already made his impact with getting Haesung Kim a couple weeks ago. You think that he's not talking to Roki Sasaki? You think there haven't been text exchange? You think there haven't been communication lines there? I asked Roki's agent, Joel Wolf, about Ohtani's relationship with Roki and if there was going to be communication. And he gave me a very short answer. Basically, hey, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to talk, but sometimes when you get a short answer, that's how I know that something is actually there. So that to me read another way. But some more we've got. Nick, the Dodgers told this to Ohtani. Forget about the regular season wins and the division titles. Our goal is to compete for World Series titles Anything less than that is a failure. We maximize all our resources to keep us achieving that goal every year. You will be the reason for that goal. That's what I was saying a few minutes ago, is the standard here, it's just different. It's just different here in Los Angeles playing for the Dodgers as it is for the Padres. Jeff Davis at JD SoCal, he tweeted out historical and consistent winning culture and franchise. 2, ability to develop and grow him as a pitcher. 3, sound financial portfolio to be able to sign him to a huge second contract. 4, has the veteran leaders sign long-term that will help him grow as a player in person. 5, pitcher-friendly ballpark, especially at night. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the Dodgers Stadium is middle of the pack right now as far as being a pitcher's park, but all those points are 100% true. We've got Dodger Fan 123. Postseason baseball is a lot of fun. Dodgers have played in postseason 12 straight seasons. Dodgers have made it at least to the NLCS in 7 of the last 12 seasons. I mean, that is Atlanta Braves level 90s winning. That is 90s, 2000 Yankees level consistency. We are in an age where you're almost guaranteed to punch your ticket to the postseason every year with the Dodgers. We've got Mark, who says, put the trophy in the middle of the table and ask if he saw one in San Diego. I love that. Pretty much what I said earlier, but I love that there is hey, let the trophies speak for themselves. Let the Cy Young speak for themselves. Let the uniform with the interlocking LA, the wedding gown white with the beautiful Dodgers script and the red TV numbers, let all that speak for itself. The history in Japan with these players, let it all speak for itself. He knows. If he knows, he knows. We've got one more here. Iowa Broncos fan, always an advantage to have the last meeting. Honestly, I would have questions of why so many young pitchers have had serious injuries and what the organization is looking to do to prevent this pattern. That's a fantastic point, because the Dodgers, they led Major League Baseball with the most days spent on the injured list last season. 40 pitchers appeared in a game for Los Angeles. So it's a valid question, and I think it's also part of the reason why Roki Sasaki has decided to leave early and play on a minor league contract instead of waiting 2 years to sign for $200+ million, because anything can happen. Like his agent told us, there are no absolutes with pitchers, and pitcher injuries aren't exclusive to the Dodgers. Pitcher injuries are occurring widespread in Major League Baseball. So that's why the Dodgers going to a 6-man-ish rotation. I think that people out there that expect the Dodgers just to go to a 6-man rotation where it's set in stone, that's not going to be the case. The Dodgers, they're going to be clever. They're going to map out a rotation that's going to take advantage of the days off they have earlier in the season, where you don't really need a 6-man rotation when the season begins in the first month of the season. You can option guys in. You can have spot starts. You can have occasional bullpen games. Another factor as well, you need Shohei Ohtani to pitch his innings to get his two-way player status back. And when he does that, then you can take full advantage of his roster spot where you can get a full complement of reliever arms. You can still get those 8 relievers, and Shohei Ohtani can be a part of that rotation. So a 6-man rotation is something that a pitcher like Roki Sasaki is going to need, considering he's adjusting. He hasn't pitched more than 129 innings in his career. Do the Padres offer that level of depth? I think the answer is no. When you kind of map this stuff out like we have, it makes you wonder why he was even in San Diego wearing those shorts. Why was there? What were you doing? I mean, I will say too, like you guys have been in high school once, right? You guys have been in high school once, right? Imagine if your parents like went to a college or something and they wanted you to go to that college. They're like, "Oh, you're going to this college. Dad went there, mom went there. We want you to go there, right? We want you to go to USC or whatever. I went to USC, you went to USC, you're going to USC." You'd probably be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to UCLA. Like, screw it. I'm going to rebel a little bit, right? Hopefully there's none of that happening with Roki Sasaki, and he just wants to rebel because, hey, when everyone tells you to do something, sometimes you're like, screw it. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to carve out my own path. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I'm just in extreme overthink mode at this point. We got a super chat from Vin1988. First, I'm gonna give you some love. Give me a little "Let's Go Dodgers" for you. Anyone saying Vince Scully, having Vince Scully pop into my head just makes my day better. There we've got Vin right there. It's time for Dodger baseball always. $5 super chat. Call DMac butter because he's on a roll. All right. Give you a nice little you in there. By the way, guys, we are taking suggestions. Send Noel the clips on X or Instagram for our new bruh. Because some people wants to keep it. Some people think we need a new one. We're gonna probably have to do something different. I did speak to I was DMing with Gavin Lux yesterday, and hey, what Gavin Lux told me is yeah, man, he's a world champion forever, and he's excited for his next opportunity. But hey, I'm telling you, we're never gonna forget Gavin Lux, man. He was part of that World Series championship team forever. JC319499. Gonna miss Roki's decision and opening day because I'm going into Navy boot camp today. Gonna miss the show for the next 3 months. Hashtag go Dodgers. Man, first of all, doesn't get any better than military service academies and Navy, the Army. I have a lot of family that have been in the Navy, family that's been in the Marines. So yeah, we salute you for your service. And hey, but we got to find a way to get you the show. I mean, we got to find a way to get you the show somehow, some way. But yeah, thank you for all the support. And you'll get word. Word will travel fast when Roki Sasaki makes his decision. Chat, Joel O. Is that Joel Osteen in the chat? Because he's a big fan of the show, big fan of the Dodgers. So, I mean, you never know. Yeah, we got look at Ohtani at the Angels. He won nothing. Came to the Dodgers, got breaded up, and won. I love that. Breaded up and won in his first year. Better clubhouse culture than the dads. Both pitching coaches are good, but advantage Dodgers. You actually had that in my notes to say all Roki has to do about joining a team that in Southern California that he kind of almost used as his launching point. I don't think Ohtani necessarily regrets that decision. Who knows? That'd be a tough way to put it, but I think it's different for Shohei than it is for Roki. Because to be honest, Shohei can hit. Shohei's a hitter as well. Roki is a guy who throws triple-digit heat and throws a nightmare splitter. I think that winning sooner in his career and getting off to a really good start is more important because of the emphasis on him being solely a pitcher in that situation. We got next coming up, though, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We'll talk more Roki Sasaki in the 7th inning stretch, but that is the latest. That is the latest on Roki Sasaki right now. Dodgers are one of the finalists. Their second meeting is set up. You're going to have players involved in that second meeting, and we should know where he's going to sign close to January 23rd. But coming up next, we're talking a little bit about the Dodgers' salary situation. Also, Nick Castellanos thinks that another player should have won the MVP in 2024, a player for the Mets, but probably not the Mets player that you think. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. What up, Dodgers Nation? DMac here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to the show in audio form, when you're driving to Dodgers Stadium, when you're driving from Dodgers Stadium, when you're commuting to work, wherever it is, you definitely want to lock into the podcast. We're going to start featuring some podcast exclusives, interviews. So definitely, even if you do watch the show daily on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast, wherever your podcast. So be sure to do that. It really supports the channel. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube, presented by dodgersnation.com. Now, if you want to get geared up, if you want to get merched up, it's t-shirt time. Go to gearup.la, pick up some of our newest t-shirts. This one is really clean. This is a Teoscar Hernandez Run It Back shirt designed by Mr. Noel Sanchez. go pick this up. I like the black. I like the black with the red. You got Teo with that $1 million smile. You can get that. It's our newest t-shirt. You can also get one that is going to be a legendary t-shirt forever. Gibby meet Freddie, celebrating Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series. Love this shirt. You got the Gibby. You got the Freddie. Also go pick up the Kike Hernandez We Don't Give a F t-shirt. That one is going to always stay in my mind just because, hey, that really was kind of the mindset of this team. Then you got the World Series trophy shirt. I want Roki Sasaki to have one of these. He's not going to have one of these if he plays for the Padres. Good chance he'll get one with the Dodgers. So go to gearup.la today to get your merch. Also, some more super chats. Dino's 5150. This guy dropped a $99.99 super chat. Give you a little comment of the show.
You win. Perfect.
$9.99 and didn't even leave a comment. Just no. Dino's is, if you guys know Dino's 5150, this guy is one of the most hardcore Dodgers fans there is. He was not sold on Dave Roberts for a long time, but I think the beautiful thing about Dino's 5150, not afraid to share his opinion, and all Dodgers opinions are welcome on this show. Okay, so for today's DFA of the day, and if you guys know our DFA of the day segment, anyone in baseball, Dodger related, that we just got a DFA for something they said, whether it's a take that I don't agree with. I'm going to DFA today. I got a DFA Nick Castellanos.
DFA of the day.
So Nick Castellanos was on Chris Rose's podcast, and they were talking about the MVP of the 2024 season, and he didn't think that Shohei Ohtani should have won that award. He thought it was supposed to go to a player for the New York Mets. And no, I'm not talking about Francisco Lindor. I'm talking about Iglesias. Got to be crazy. Here's what Nick Castellanos said.
MVP of the National League. If you're looking at like the MVP as having the most weight on creating wins for your team, there's no other player that has had that much weight as Jose Iglesias. Because I think with him being able to come in and bring that Latin spark, knock the ice off of Lindor, finally got Vientos probably comfortable to be able to be an everyday third baseman. And now a bunch of guys that look like they had no direction, running in all different directions in the beginning of the year. They made the playoffs, got to where they did, while the whole Mets organization had the OMG signs were everywhere from in the city to the stadium. The way I look at baseball, Jose Iglesias is unanimous National League MVP.
There's no way he said that. No way he thought that. We need a random drug testing right now on Nick Castellanos. He's getting a bruh for that.
Bruh.
Did he really just try to suggest that Jose Iglesias, a player who hit 4 home runs, deserved the National League MVP over the guy that hit 54 home runs? That a guy that had a 3.1 WAR season should have won the MVP over a guy that had a 9.2 WAR season? Shohei's July was better than his whole season. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. One guy signed with a team, then that team won the World Series. And yes, it wasn't just because of Shohei Ohtani, but they don't win the division without Shohei and what he did, having the first 50-50 season in the history of Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani's 2024 season is not even going to be just remembered in 2024. That season will go down as one of the best individual seasons in the history of any sport, not even just baseball. Jose Iglesias is happy to have a job, if we're being completely honest. I don't understand the logic here, because not only are you saying that Jose Iglesias should have won the MVP, you're saying that he should have won the MVP over Francisco Lindor because of his, quote, Latin spark. Well, I will say, though, that song is a banger. His song, like, is Jose Iglesias a better singer than Shohei Ohtani? 100%. Not even close. OMG. Is he a better player? WTF. What are you talking about? That is the most insane take I've heard from any professional baseball player in a long, long time. Maybe I'll hit Cam Newton's terrible take, his embarrassing take about baseball at some point too. But I don't know. I don't know if Nick Castellanos eating too much of Bryce Harper's banana bread or what it is, but I just don't understand this. I get it. You want to highlight your former teammates. You want to pump up your guys, but he's not even the Mets MVP, let alone the league MVP. This is absolutely outrageous. Grimace is more of the MVP of the Mets than Jose Iglesias is. I don't understand this. I don't understand this take at all whatsoever. But let me know down below in the comment section. Let me know down below in the comment section that what is your reaction to this? I'm not the only one that's freaking out about this. I don't know why I get baited into stupid stuff like this. I'm one of those guys. I'm like, I don't care. It's just stupid. I don't care. And then I break out the burner account and have like 15 replies in all caps. I just can't help myself. Oh, a $100 super chat from Whack'em Sticks. Whack'em Sticks. This show is presented by dodgersnation.com, gearup.la, and Whack'em Sticks. What's up, Dodgers Nation? I'm calling it now. Roki will be a Dodger by this time tomorrow. The moment he sees Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Decoy at the recruitment meeting, his mind will be made up. The 2025 rotation will be the nastiest in the entire history of the game.
You win. Perfect.
I love Whack'em Sticks comments. Not just because of the money, but mainly because of the money. Pretty much 99% because of the money, but also because he gets me fired up, right? I mean, he gets that hype stuff. I mean, if by this time tomorrow, somehow we find out that he signed with the Dodgers, Whack'em Stick is going to be one of those guys who's like, oh, who's that random guy on Reddit that said this? Who's that random guy on Twitter that said this? You're going to get a lot of credit. Well, you will certainly get it here. But let's switch gears to the 7th inning stretch. We answer all of your questions, all your thoughts, comments, and concerns, everything about your boys in blue here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
We've got Herman who says Roki signing with the Dodgers. Why would he sign with the Padres? That would be a big mistake. Simple, concise, but I think very factual. So I like that. I like that for sure. We've got another super chat from Whack'em Sticks. Whack'em Sticks, my man, we're putting all this money. You know, we're really gonna work something out with the fire victims and relief fund. We gotta figure something out with that for sure. And but Whack'em Sticks he's dropping some serious coin in the chat. Says, what's worse, the Yankees infield defense or Nick Castellanos' MVP take? An impossible choice. That's from Whack'em Sticks. Another $50 super chat. Really appreciate that. Martin Troop, Dodgers Nation spends money like Dodgers ownership. There we go. Alex, DMac has me hyped at work. I got to tune in more during this time. Alex, what's up, Alex? How you doing? Appreciate that. Give you a let's go Dodgers. You know, I've been called the human hype machine before. Sports cards, report cards. If Nick Castellanos says that Iglesias should have been the MVP, then CT3 should have won the Cy Young Award. Big says 90s Atlanta level pitching staff. Joel Rodriguez, to his credit, Castellanos did say he would pick Ohtani as his franchise player. He did say that. I'll give him some credit. I like Nando390 says, Whack'em Sticks, adopt me. Yeah, I'm just going to throw my QR code on the screen, my Venmo for Whack'em Sticks. We got Rudy. Hey, DMac, you awesome, bro. Thank you for the updates on the Dodgers. I think Roki coming to L.A. Can you wish my son a happy birthday? His name is Ryan Bautista. He's a huge Dodgers fan, just like me. Trophy. Yeah, awesome. Trophy. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Ryan out there. And hopefully you get a little belated birthday present this week, and that is in the form of Roki Sasaki. So happy birthday to you. Thanks for rocking with us as always. Some kind of wonderful at 499 super chat. Have you heard the rumor about Josue Paula being traded for $3 million in international pool money? Thanks for the escape, DMac. LA strong. Yeah, appreciate that. And definitely we're here for you guys 24/7, 365 here at Dodgers Nation. And yeah, I mean, there have been some rumors about that. And we'll see when the window opens if the Dodgers do trade away some of their prospects, some of their assets to try to maximize what they can spend. Because right now you're at $5.1 million. You can get 60% of that if you trade away a lot of assets. DePaula is a prospect that has very high upside. The Dodgers prospects, they kind of range from, okay, the potential is a guy that could be a big league player, a roster guy, role player. But some of those guys have all-star level potential. And DePaula, as far as ceiling goes, he has a very, very high ceiling. So he's someone that my friend Tim Rogers was put in the same sentence as Juan Soto. Mitchell Enriquez, do you think Roberts being Japanese helps with getting Sasaki? Of course. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? I think what helps more is that Dave Roberts is a great manager that's won multiple World Series titles, but there's no doubt about it. If you've been in a room with Dave Roberts, if you've heard him speak, Dave's a special guy. I mean, he legitimately has a personality that you cannot teach, and I'm sure that connection is relevant. There's no doubt about it. It has to, right? Jay Farrell 305, appreciate that. Alex Renteria, DMac, can you make it to the recruiting meeting? Roki takes one look at you and it's a done deal. I mean, I don't know about that, but thank you though. Appreciate that. Hey, look, I would like to be part of that meeting. Give me 5 minutes. He's a Dodger. I guarantee it. We got some more. Love you, Big Daddy DMac. What's up, Rihanna Reeves? Kind of gonna give you a bruh for that one, but love you back. Scott Smith, Dodgers are now the sun in the MLB solar system. All the players that want to win will naturally gravitate to the rising sun. That's a comment of the show. I got that as a comment of the show from Scott Smith. Jay Farrell 305. In another timeline, Harper, Ohtani, Judge, and Burns are all Blue Jays. That's a good one. Give you a little finish. Maldonado Archives. Iglesias is Castellanos Torta. Come on, Antonio. Tony Tater's going to put that one on there. You guys are crazy with that one. Greatness, Delton. If we get Sasaki, just go full scorched earth on the rotation. Trade Gonsolin for a couple of low-tier prospects, and then either bring back Flaherty on a short-term deal and opt-outs and trade for Castillo. I mean, geez, that is the murderer's rotation right there. West Coast Ninja. Would love to have him in LA. However, if he were to go to the Padres, wouldn't it be a big deal? He is one pitcher. The Dodgers are a machine. Would be his loss. I would love to see him pitch to us. Yeah, I mean, that's something that would be a part of my thought process as well, is I don't want to be the guy to face this lineup for the prime of my career. Ken Warm. Why would Roki Sasaki go to the Dodgers, go to San Diego with all the friction between brothers and sisters in court, or Toronto, where you don't know if the stars are going elsewhere? I mean, those are all factors. I mean, Toronto, like I said, the Toronto Bridesmaids, they have been in the final group for a lot of stars, but they just haven't landed those guys. And on top of that, you haven't been able to get deals done with your current talent. Guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who they reportedly had made a big offer to, but he did not accept it. So it's definitely a fair point. As far as the Padres go, yeah, the ownership, you have some turmoil with the family about the ownership of that team, and something I would consider for sure. Whack'em Sticks. The Gavin Lux bruh meme must never die. Funniest thing I've ever seen. I think we're just going to keep it. I think we're just going to keep it for Gavin. I mean, it's just too good. But we might do an alternate one. How about that? Tony Visuals, by tomorrow, 2 p.m., Sasaki will be a Dodger. James S., if Roki doesn't want media attention, why would you go to a team like the Padres and be the main focus in LA? He would have to share it with Ohtani, Yoshi, Freeman, Mookie. He's safe in LA. I've said that as well, is that on the face value, you might think, wait, the Padres is a softer landing spot. I think that the Dodgers would be, in the sense that Ohtani and Yamamoto, he can get as much attention as he wants in LA, where if he's in San Diego, he's going to be the biggest show in town, right? I mean, Tatis is a star, sure, but he's going to get the focus, and fans are going to want to come and see him get that ball in day one. The Dodgers, they can kind of slowly transition him as slow as they want to be, and then next year unleash him to another level as well. So I totally agree with that. But we got some more. We've got Chilltown. Toronto makes no sense for Roki. He came to Major League Baseball to play high-level baseball. Jay's not getting to the postseason. Dennis BM, Japanese Kevin Brown, I'll take that any day. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, right? Kind of putting him in the same comparison comp as Kevin Brown. But we're going to end the show like we always do with the walk-off. And on today's walk-off, it's going to be about Shohei Ohtani.
The walk-off.
So today for the walk-off, I saw this. Japanese astronaut Noguchi Sawuchi. He talked about a conversation that he had with Shohei Ohtani, and he said that Shohei Ohtani has asked me many times, are there aliens? And he talked about Shohei Ohtani's incredible intellectual curiosity. He said, "We met again in 2018 before a game against the Astros in Houston. I remember Ohtani asking me, 'Are there aliens?' And I answered, 'I don't think they are.' Then they met in 2021, and he had a video call with him later too, and Ohtani asked him again, 'So are there any aliens? Are there really aliens?' And he kept asking this astronaut about aliens. And he told Ohtani, when astronauts return to Earth, they need rehabilitation to get used to gravity. But Ohtani once asked me questions like, 'How long will the rehabilitation take? And please tell me the specific rehabilitation menu.' So he said he was impressed with his strong intellectual curiosity, although it may have been because he had struggled to overcome his own injury. So I find that really fascinating. Shohei Ohtani continuously asking a Japanese astronaut if aliens are real, 3 years apart, once through a video call. I think what Shohei Ohtani really meant to say was, are there any other aliens? Because Shohei Ohtani clearly isn't from this planet. And I think he wants to make sure that his cover isn't being blown. That's kind of my theory on this. So Shohei is just a fascinating guy. Anytime I see anything about him that's not related to baseball, I always find that fascinating. But we're going to end the show here by asking Antonio, do you believe in aliens?
Warning. Maybe. Actually, probably not. I mean, maybe. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. I've never had an experience. My sister swears she's seen one in Mexico, like when we were 10 and 11. But I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You eat too many champurrado. You drink too much champurrado. But I don't know. But I'm gonna say personally, no.
So no to you. How about you, Noel?
Man, you know me, Doug. I go down my rabbit hole sometimes on YouTube when I'm having a nice meal and I have my phone in front of me, my AirPods, and I do watch a lot of conspiracy videos, a lot of just past interviews with people who claim they've seen aliens. And I think just outside of that, you never really know until we find concrete evidence. But just seeing how big the universe is, seeing how many solar systems, how many galaxies there are, I think I think mathematically it's only right to believe there is something out there, to believe there's other intelligent life like ourselves somewhere, because I think it's a little scary if we were the only beings in this big universe. What do you think?
It's tough. I mean, I think the Earth is example that life can exist, but I also say it took almost 3 billion years to evolve behind just a single cell of bacteria and to kind of replicate into that. So I don't know. Obviously, I've clearly looked way too into this. I want to say yes. I want to say I love the Alien movie franchise. So that's kind of one. I remember my dream I had that crazy dream about the alien. So yeah, I mean,
how did that go, DMac?
It was a crazy dream. We'll save it for another show.
My favorite DMac dream is the one about Andrew Friedman when he confronted you because you knew all the moves the Dodgers were gonna make and he told you not to.
Yeah, no, I really had a dream one time where I really had a dream. So after they signed Yamamoto and this and that, I had a dream that I was with Andrew Friedman and we were in this like parking garage and he was like, "Hey, yeah, I watch your show and I try to do all the moves based on your show." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Hey, man, hey, glad I can help." I mean, I don't want to take any credit or anything like that. And he's like, "Yeah, but I think you're going to go and take credit for all these moves." And I was like, "No, I promise I won't." And then he leaves the parking structure and all this water came everywhere. And then I was like, drowning in the water. And then I woke up. I mean, it's a true story. I mean, I never episode of The Sopranos where someone's like, don't bring up your dreams, but like that really happened. But yeah, that's where we're ending the show on this one. A couple super chats. Veronica, $5. Donate the money to help the displaced and injured animals from the fires. We certainly will. We'll make sure we're transparent about super chat money and what we're doing here at Dodgers Nation for sure. Pocket Rude Boy 199. Gonna intro Ohtani to Alex Jones. Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Also, remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue.